You've probably seen the posts that are telling you to lower cortisol if you want more energy, better sleep, or fewer hot flashes. Well, I've worked with women who've tried that and ended up feeling worse. And I've been there myself. So let's talk about why lowering cortisol isn't always the answer. I'm Claudine Francois, functional medicine practitioner and master midlife decoder. Before we dive in, make sure to take my free Decode Your Midlife Body quiz. It's the fastest way to discover where your body is most out of balance. So you'll find the link right below this video. And if this resonates, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Now, everywhere you scroll, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you'll find tips on how to lower your cortisol. Eat whole foods, meditate, do gentler workouts. Now, some of that advice is good, but here's the thing. Not everyone needs to lower cortisol. Cortisol isn't the villain. It's an essential hormone that helps regulate your energy, your blood sugar, inflammation, and is your stress response. The real problem is when cortisol becomes dysregulated. So that's too high, too low, or swinging between the two. Now, I know this firsthand because years ago, after dealing with mold toxicity, my body was under so much stress that it practically shut down hormone production and my cortisol was flatlined. And guess what I was doing? I was following the same lower your cortisol advice I saw online. So no wonder I was exhausted. I could barely get through the day. I didn't need less cortisol though. I needed my nervous system supported so that it could get back into balance. Because here's the problem with blanket advice. It assumes your cortisol is always high, but if it isn't, some fixes can actually make you feel worse. So for example, DIM is a supplement that lowers estrogen. It's great if you have estrogen dominance, but if your estrogen is already low, DIM can make hot flashes, vaginal dryness, and fatigue much worse. Another one is phosphatidylserine, which blunts cortisol. That's really helpful if your cortisol is spiking at night and you can't sleep. But if your cortisol is already tanked, it's like pouring water on a fire that's barely burning while ignoring the raging fire down the road. Basically, you're not solving the problem. And oversupplementing in general without testing can push your body further out of balance. So I'll give you a client story. One client came to me because they couldn't fall asleep because they had this racing mind and this racing heart when they tried to go to bed. So they had started taking phosphatidylserine because they thought their cortisol was high. But when we ran a Dutch test, which stands for Dried Urine Test for Comprehensive Hormones, their cortisol was completely tanked all day. And that supplement was actually making them more fatigued, right? More exhausted. Once we focused on nervous system support and the other underlying stressors instead of lowering cortisol, they finally started to feel human again and started sleeping. So that's why I always say, test, don't guess. You want to think of cortisol like your body's fuel gauge. You need enough to keep moving, but not so much that you're flooring the gas pedal all day, right? Now, here are the 3 patterns I often see on labs like the Dutch test and how they feel in real life. So there are some people who are high all day or at certain points in the day. You'll feel wired but anxious, irritable, can't fall asleep. If it's low all day, you feel sluggish, dragging, like you can't get out of bed, and coffee just doesn't do it for you, right? And then there are people who have spikes and crashes. So afternoon slumps, 3 a.m. wake-ups, those energy roller coasters. And each of these requires a different approach. And that's why that generic lower your cortisol hack can backfire. So what can you do instead? Well, you focus on regulating your nervous system. These tools benefit almost everyone without any guessing required. So number 1 is balance your blood sugar. Stable blood sugar equals stable cortisol. So you want to aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein at each meal, pair carbs with a protein or a fat, and don't skip breakfast because fasting is a stressor on the body. And if you're already depleted, fasting can make things worse, not better. You also want to make sure you're nourishing with key minerals because stress depletes magnesium, potassium, B vitamins, but also sodium and calcium over the long term. So replenish them so that your nervous system can fire properly. My go-to adrenal cocktail is 4 cups of water, a 1/4 teaspoon of Redmond's or Celtic sea salt, so a high mineralized salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, that's your potassium, and the juice of half a lemon, right? So sodium, potassium, and vitamin C, those are going to love up your adrenals. Just be careful if you're on high blood pressure meds, check with your doctor first. And you can also add mineral-rich foods like leafy greens, avocado, and coconut water. Number 3, choose supportive movement, because over-exercising spikes cortisol, but too little makes it sluggish. So try gentle workouts like Pilates or yoga, or even doing some great strength training. Make sure you prioritize restorative sleep. You want to aim for 7 to 9 hours in a cool, dark room. Keep consistent bedtimes and wake times. That's really helpful for your body. And you can try magnesium glycinate or Epsom salt bath before bed. But if you have issues sleeping or staying asleep, stay tuned because I'll have an upcoming episode on that. And 5, it's also really important to do daily nervous system regulation, right? Loving up your nervous system. So you can do breath work. You can do 3 minutes of my free stress busting breath practice, which I'll link below. You can do grounding, so putting your bare feet on grass or sand. You can do a cold rinse, so 20 seconds of cool water, not freezing, but cool water at the end of your shower. And then joy and laughter, right? Dancing, music, hugs, they all count too. So the bottom line is that the goal isn't really just about lowering cortisol. It's about helping your nervous system regulate so that your body can create the right amount of cortisol at the right times. So if you've tried cortisol hacks and you end up feeling worse, it's not your fault. You were working with the wrong instructions. So to take the first step, check out my Decode Your Midlife Body Quiz. The link is right below this video. It's the fastest way to see where your body is out of balance. And if you want the full breakdown, I've got a blog post on this exact topic linked below as well. So don't forget to subscribe because I've got more videos coming to help you decode your body, realign naturally, and reclaim your energy. Sending you lots of love. See you in the next one.